Hi, what are you guys doing out here?
We're out here filming a video about the first MerleFest. The first festival was Eddy Merle Watson Memorial Festival. Well, that's a mouthful.
Because people loved it.
But it was the people that were calling in, when is the next MerleFest? They named it.
History in its making.
Tell it like it is. That's my belief.
Doing the documentary, that's kind of helped put it on the map then, and it's still on the map today.
Well, B. Towns was the horticulture specialist at Wilkes Community College. Back then, I had bought a professional camera. I didn't have editing equipment, and I started doing stuff for him. They would let me use the editing system. I would do free video for them. They wanted to figure out a way to raise money.
You know, you have a situation, you're going to have a one-time festival in the honor of somebody that has passed away, which is Merle Watson, which is Doc Watson's son. There was a few fellows that pulled their ideals together, and the rest is history.
So somebody come up with the idea of getting Doc to bring in some local musicians and do a little concert there on the campus. A lot of the guys like Sam Bush and other people, they'd call and say, well, I want to come and play for Doc. And they would come for free. And it just grew. Grandpa Jones called and he said, I want to come and pick with Doc. Well, we can't pay you. He said, I don't want no money. I want to pick with Doc. They decided to do it.
The musicians would draw the crowd, from Chet Atkins to Earl Scruggs.
They were just going to do it inside the Johnny Walker Center. Well, they outsold the seats. The sound man, Cliff Miller, he said, well, let's move it outside.
I don't know how you explain a team coming together, but the team was formed and it come together and it was pulled off. And there was some thought put behind everything that was done, from video to advertising to selling tickets.
Back then, me and another guy had an advertising agency called Downhauer Ferguson Advertising. B. Towns said, why don't you bring your cameras and do some shooting and we can use it. Well, we did, and we had Ikegami, and we had a Panasonic Satacom tube. It had an M1 deck, and it had XLRs on it. And Cliff Miller walked by, and he said, would you like to have sound? And I said, yes. I ran around with the Ikegami on my shoulder and a big old 40-pound, a three-quarter deck, doing the B-roll stuff. On Monday, I plugged it in, and I said, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. And I called B. I said, B, you need to come over here. I said, maybe we need to do a videotape. He came over, and he said, well, how much would it cost? I said, well, it'd probably be around $10,000 to $12,000 to edit, because it's a lot of matching the footage of the B-roll and all that stuff. And he said, well, I'll see if I can get some sponsors to help pay for it. Would you want to be one of the do it and get part of the money? And I said, no, I want my money up front.
He was doing the editing, and he had the guys backing him on it, financially speaking, Bill Young and Ralph Williams, B. Towns.
They sold 5,000 copies, and it was amazing that half of them went to Japan. Those people that saw that tape, and probably their friends saw it, because they started calling around January and February, is when is the next MerleFest. And they said there's not going to be another MerleFest. It was a one-time deal. And so it kept on calling. So finally, B went to the guy that was in charge of the college and said, they're wanting to do another MerleFest. Do you think we could do it? And he said, well, go talk to Doc. And Doc said, yeah, but we have to pay him. If it hadn't been for that videotape, is my opinion, there wouldn't have been another MerleFest. And also there's two other stations. They had a videographer from Morganton area, and he came, and also the UNC TV contributed, and Cliff Miller providing the sound. If it hadn't been for the sound, it wouldn't have been worth a crap. And if it hadn't been for Ron Downhauer and I filming it, and all those people that saw that tape started calling, and when is the next MerleFest?
Preserving history, yes, sir, sure enough, because Probably if he hadn't have made the video, there wouldn't have been another MerleFest.
The proof is in the pudding when you sell 5,000 copies of VHS tapes, and half of them went to Japan, and all those people started calling. It was like a runaway truck.
Bye-bye.
All the efforts of Mule Ferguson, Ralph Williams, Bill Young, B. Towns, and Ayla Zoo Wyke, everybody that was involved. That's the reason we've got MerleFest today. It will continue on forever.
As they say in Hollywood, no crap. This is a wrap.